The village of Eldermist was once a haven of peace and prosperity, nestled deep within a lush, green valley. Its fields were abundant with crops, the trees laden with fruit, and the laughter of children echoed through the streets. The villagers were a tight-knit community, bound together by traditions passed down through generations. Life was simple and joyful, and the village thrived under the warm, golden sun. But all that changed in a matter of days. One morning, the villagers woke to find their beloved valley shrouded in a thick, impenetrable mist. It rolled in silently during the night, swallowing the village whole. The once vibrant fields and orchards became ghostly silhouettes, and the sun, which had always bathed the valley in warmth, was now a mere memory. The mist was cold and clammy, chilling the villagers to their bones. It seeped into their homes, into their very souls, leaving behind an eerie silence where there had once been music and laughter. It hung over the village like a suffocating blanket, smothering all life beneath it. The once bustling marketplace fell silent, the cheerful chatter of neighbors ceased, and the doors of the village church remained closed. The people of Eldermist, once so full of life, began to retreat into their homes, afraid to venture outside. It wasn't just the mist that frightened them. As the days passed, strange things began to happen. Villagers spoke of seeing a dark, shadowy figure lurking in the mist, a figure that seemed to move without sound or purpose. It appeared at random, sometimes standing at the edge of the village, sometimes right outside a window, always watching but never coming closer. Those who dared to step outside often felt a cold shiver down their spine, as if they were being followed by unseen eyes. Rumors spread quickly through the village. Some said the shadow was the spirit of a long-dead villager, cursed to wander the mist for eternity. Others whispered of ancient evils, of forgotten gods angry at the villagers for reasons unknown. Fear and paranoia began to take hold, driving a wedge between the once close-knit community. Neighbors no longer trusted each other, and families barricaded themselves inside their homes, isolating themselves from the world. It was during this time of fear and uncertainty that a group of travelers stumbled upon Eldermist. They were a motley crew, seasoned adventurers who had seen their fair share of strange and dangerous places. They had heard whispers of the cursed village from passing merchants and decided to investigate. As they approached the village, the mist enveloped them, chilling them to the core. But they pressed on, their curiosity piqued and their determination unwavering. When the travelers entered the village, they found it eerily quiet. The streets were deserted, the houses dark and shuttered. The only sound was the soft rustling of the mist as it moved through the narrow alleys. As they made their way through the village, they began to notice the shadowy figure that the villagers had spoken of. It seemed to drift in and out of sight, never staying in one place for long. The travelers felt the weight of the villagers' fear pressing down on them, but they were not easily swayed. They sought out the village elder, a man named Bram, who was said to be the last link to the village's past. They found him in his home, huddled by a dying fire, his once strong frame now frail and bent. Bram was reluctant to speak at first, his eyes filled with the same fear that gripped the rest of the village. But the travelers were persistent, and eventually, the elder began to tell them of the village's history. Eldermist, it seemed, had not always been called by that name. Long ago, it was known as ELDERSUN, a name that spoke of the bright days and the blessings of the sun god that the villagers once worshipped. But there had been a time of darkness, a time when the village had angered the god with their pride and arrogance. The sun god, in his wrath, had cursed the village, plunging it into eternal mist and darkness. The shadowy figure, Bram explained, was a manifestation of the villagers' guilt and fear, a reminder of the curse that had been placed upon them. The travelers listened carefully, piecing together the fragments of the story. They realized that the curse could only be broken if the villagers confronted their past and made amends for their actions. The travelers knew it would not be easy, but they were determined to help the villagers reclaim their home and their lives. They began by gathering the villagers, coaxing them out of their homes and into the village square. It took time, but slowly, the people of Eldermist emerged, their fear giving way to curiosity and hope. The travelers spoke to them of the curse, of the need to face their past and seek forgiveness from the sun god. The villagers were hesitant at first, but as they listened, they began to remember the village's former glory and the warmth and light that had once filled their lives. With the travelers' guidance, the villagers came together in a ceremony of atonement, offering prayers and sacrifices to the sun god. The shadowy figure, once so terrifying, began to fade, its purpose fulfilled. And as the first rays of sunlight broke through the mist, the villagers knew that they had been forgiven. The village of Elder Mist was no more. In its place stood ELDERSUN, a village reborn from the darkness, its people united once more in hope and faith. The travelers left the village, their hearts light with the knowledge that they had helped restore peace and prosperity to the valley. And as the sun rose high in the sky, its golden rays bathing the village in warmth, the people of ELDERSUN knew that they would never again take its light for granted.